All right, Detroit. All right, Michigan. These my last days here. But let me tell you why. I'm leaving.
Perfect.
Over there in the car doing my YouTube shit.
Oh, okay. You just ate?
No, just down here shooting. Came a long way, Detroit. We came a long way. We really did. It's a lot going on down here. It's a lot to see. It's a lot to do downtown. Just feel like we need to do some things within in the neighborhoods of the city. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can't just be downtown. Everybody can't afford to live down here. You see, it's a mix of people down here. It ain't used to be like that. But I ain't complaining either. We need a little diversity within the city. We need some other influences within the city. It can't just be one thing. And I feel like that's what makes a lot of the other major cities great, is the diversity and the different culture and the different ideas that's coming through. Campus Martius in my background. I'm gonna miss you, Detroit. It's been a journey. You know what I'm saying? Like, you brought me up to be the man that I am today. And I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you. It's been real though. I gotta go. My mom in 2009 moved my family to Georgia, me and my brothers, to the Atlanta area. And I remember back then just like, I ain't want no parts of it. I'm like, leave Detroit. Like, I was a hoodlum. Like, I wanted to stay here with my friends. I wasn't trying to leave. I wasn't open-minded to having no type of new experiences or nothing like that. So I just wanted to be in Detroit, and I didn't see why or how moving out of Michigan would benefit me. But I'm glad that, you know, I did eventually make that move, because it definitely allowed me to be a more open-minded person and gain some new experiences and see some new things. I met some new people, and you just got to see how other people live and, you know, how other places operate. So now as I'm an adult, I'm not afraid of change, right? Like, I'm about to take my whole family. By the way, we're talking about moving, right? So we leave in Michigan and we've decided to move to the Tampa area, Tampa, Florida. So my wife, my 4 kids, we picking up and we going to Tampa, Florida, directly from Michigan, where we essentially don't know anybody. Like, I don't really know anybody in Tampa, Florida. Well, I do have some family. I'm lying. I got some cousins in Florida, in the St. Petersburg area. And then I got a couple friends in the Orlando area, which is about an hour and a half, hour 40 minutes away, depending on the traffic. So definitely a major change. Big change is coming. You know, we've been plotting on this for a long time. So if you don't know, you've been following us on Hustle Travel Eat. We've been doing a lot of traveling, especially to the Caribbean, Puerto Rico, you know, the Bahamas. We've gone to Cancun. That's not the Caribbean per se, but a lot of the times we have to stop in Florida for whatever reason. So just like in the last 4 years, man, we have been in Florida maybe once every couple of months, whether it's Miami, whether it's Orlando, wherever. Like, we've been in Florida a lot, and we've just grown to love Florida. I know everybody got their opinions about all the stuff that go on in Florida, the heat, the hurricanes, the people, the politics, the affordability. People got a lot to say, but you really got to do your research. And I feel like it's really just, what area you move into. You just got to really do your due diligence. So we've done that. We've been there plenty of times. We stayed there, for extended amounts of time. One trip, I think we were there for like almost 3 weeks. So close to a month just on vacation. And I understand that vacation is different from actually living in a place, right? But I feel like we got the gist of what it is to be in Florida. So, we put our minds to it. We put our resources into it. We loaded it. And then we pulled the trigger. So, June 2023, we in Florida. Tampa, what it do? What up, though? So I just want to talk to y'all about the reasons, for real, that we are moving to Florida and we're leaving Michigan. Like, not only why we're moving to Florida, but just why I'm leaving Michigan, right? So Michigan, the number one reason is, of course, the weather. So in Michigan, if you're not a Michigan resident, if you don't know a lot about Michigan, Michigan gets all 4 seasons. So you get your summer, fall, spring, winter. But to me, in Michigan, it feels like the longest season is winter, right? Like, winter in Michigan starts, let's just say, October is when the temperatures really start dropping, like end of October. And then it really doesn't let up until, it just depends on the year. But lately, it's been seeming like it doesn't really let up until maybe like May. So you in winter time, snow and cold from October to May. Now that might be okay for some people. Some people might be okay with, just being in the winter that long. But I ain't. I'm not for it. It's not, there are winter activities you can do, but I'm not really a winter activity type of person. Neither is anybody in my family. Like, we outdoorsy, we like to be outside. We like to, be out by the pool, whether it's the beach. We like to go walking. We like to be at the park. We like to grill. And in Michigan, you limit it. You really limit yourself when you're here in Michigan, right? So let me turn around and go back. That's the number one reason. It's just the weather. Like, you're only getting about maybe 2-3 good months out of the year where it's really good weather to just be outside and do what you want to do. The rest of the time, you cooped up in the house. You getting fat. You just eating. And yeah, so we just want to go somewhere where it's a lot more days throughout the year where we can be outside and do what we want to do outside. So number one, the weather. Number two, for me, heavy on, how everybody want to say insurance is a scam. So number two reason I'm leaving Michigan is the cost of insurance. Like, you can pause this video, you can Google it right now. I might put some stats right here on the screen. Michigan is one of the highest insurance states. Like, you're gonna pay high for insurance here in Michigan. It's a lot of variables, it's a lot of reasons behind that. politics, the weather, just a lot going on. So I don't like paying for high insurance. I just don't, and I refuse to. It's no benefit to me to be here in Michigan and be paying that high of insurance. Like, I'm just not gonna do it. So I have done my research on Florida, and they definitely have some high insurance in certain areas. You got to know where you're going, but it's not comparable to Michigan. So if I'm gonna pay high insurance, if I have to pay high insurance, I'm gonna do it somewhere where I actually want to be. Make sense? All right, follow me. The number 3 reason I'm leaving Michigan are the people. So go back in the video where I talked about how when my mom moved us to Georgia, it made me open-minded and it gave me new experiences, right? So what I mean by that is, when I was in Georgia, I kind of had the freedom to like focus on things that needed to be focused on. And don't get me wrong, it is about discipline. I'm not saying you cannot do that here in Michigan. Like, everything is here is just a distraction. But because it is so many people here that I know, I feel like it's a lot of distractions going on. So it's harder to like just be pinned down and focused on the shit you need to be focused on, right? It's always a birthday party. It's always a gathering. It's always something to go to. So I just want to go back to that. I want to go back to how it was. I want that feeling that I had back when I was in Georgia, where it was just like I had the freedom to really bunker down and focus on the things that would progress me as a person. And for my family, I want us to bunker down and focus on the things that are going to progress us in life, right? So I also feel like here in Michigan, it's a different mindset, especially in Detroit. It's the Detroit mindset is what I call it. Like, it could be just the people that I'm around, right? It's all about who you hang around. But I feel like people here in Michigan, like, because it's not a lot to do here, like people here in Michigan, they just want to, everybody just eating. We just eating all the time. Everybody just drinking all the time. Everybody just smoking all the time. And, I'm tired of that. Like, I've been doing that for so long. Like, I don't want to do that no more. Like, that's not fun to me no more, to just be sitting around drinking, smoking every time we get together. Like, we ain't having like a business party or business meetings. It's just like, oh, we about to just like, what you put something in the air, what you got on the bottle. And it's just like, that's not productive to us as a people. And I'm not saying people don't do that where we going. Of course they do, right? It's definitely about the people that you're hanging around. But I just want to go where there's no distractions and where I don't know anybody. And I want to introduce my kids to that mindset that I had of just being somewhere new where you don't know anybody, meeting new people, right? So that's the 3rd reason we leave in Michigan. Number 4 reason we're leaving Michigan is diversity. Okay? Going back, it's piggybacking off number 3, which we just discussed, was the people. So number 4 is the diversity. When I got a chance to move to Georgia, and even when I was here in Michigan, I had the chance to go to a school outside of Detroit. So when I went to that school, it was different cultures there, right? You had some white people there. You had some Arabic people there. You had some Asian people there. So I felt like that was good for me to experience a different culture, right? And be around different types of people. because that just allows you to, learn and know that it's not just what you know that's what's going on. It's a lot of different stuff going on, right? So when we go to Florida, in that Tampa area, there's black people there, there's white people there, there's Jewish people there, there's Arabic people, there's Indian people, there's Asian people, heavy Hispanic, Latino community. So that's what I want for my kids. I want them to go to school with different cultures. I don't want them to just go to school with all black people. Like, that's not the way the world is. I need them to be able to function in society, in a diverse society, And I also want my kids to not be so accustomed to the same thing, right? Like, I also want them to know the only thing that's constant is change. So I don't want them to get too used to, some people that worried about us leaving was like, okay, I need y'all to be stable. Y'all should be stable with your kids, but they have been stable to a certain extent, right? They've been in the same school system for a good portion of their school years. But I don't want them to get stagnant and complacent, nor do I want to teach them that, right? I want them to know that there are other things out here. And I don't want them to not be acceptive of change, because things are always going to change. That's just how it goes. So number 1, the weather. Number 2, the insurance. Number 3, the people. Number 4, the diversity. And those are the 4 things that really made us pull that trigger, put it in process to get out of Michigan. And that's just what it is. So if you ever move to a different place where you didn't know anybody or didn't know very many people, if you ever picked up your family and just moved across the country to somewhere you never lived before, drop a comment. Drop a comment in the video. Let me know how that experience was. I'm looking forward to hearing how other people dealt with that. Even if you're thinking about doing it, drop a comment in the video and let me know about were you thinking about moving, what made you want to move, and what will ultimately make you pull that trigger to, just step out and go ahead and do that like we had to. So those are 4 reasons we are leaving Michigan. Y'all wish us luck. I'm gonna be vlogging the entire time. This is actually our last day here in Michigan. So we taking the drive out, and I'm gonna take y'all on the journey with us. So make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, hit the subscribe button right now. Hustle, travel, eat. We in Tampa, baby. What up, though?